New shoe alert, let's get into it. Good morning, YouTube. What's up, everybody? Hope you're safe and healthy and happy and doing okay. Thought I'd be a little bit festive today. Got the Rudolph shirt on, and this is arguably the best Christmas movie or TV show ever created, and there is no option for debate. So 2 summers ago, I want to say summer of 2023, Saucony came out with a shoe called the Kinvara Pro. The excitement around this shoe was that there were 2 layers of Saucony's foams. The first layer that was right under your foot was their Power Run PB foam, which I believe at the time was their like premium racing foam. You see it in the Speed, and I'm pretty sure you also saw it in the Pro at that time as well. And the bottom layer was their more standard foam, just plain old Power Run. And it also had some type of plate in there to help you roll forward in your stride, and it was a pretty polarizing shoe. Not everybody really liked it. I was in the camp of not really digging it too much. I just felt like the shoe felt heavy under my foot. It felt a little bit cumbersome and clunky. And yeah, I think I ran in it for the review, and then I kind of put it on the shelf and didn't really ever revisit it, to be honest. But then I saw during all of the running event coverage that Saucony was coming out with a shoe that was similar but had different foam right under your foot. And that is what we have right here today, the Endorphin Trainer. Now, before we get into the ins and outs of the Endorphin Trainer, I do want to ask that you could please go and subscribe to the channel. I know a lot of you watch the videos but aren't necessarily subscribed, and every subscription does help, so if you could please go do that, that would be great. And I'm also going to ask that you go follow me on Instagram at @RunLikeKeller if you want a little bit more shoe content, running content, just live content in general. That's where you go, at @RunLikeKeller. Now, moving on back to our regularly scheduled programming. Now, the Endorphin Trainer has a lot of the characteristics that the Kinvara Pro did, but this is done a little bit different. We do have the 2 foams, we do have a carbon plate and an engineered mesh, but do I think that this shoe feels a little bit better than the Kinvara Pro, or is it kind of falling flat for me the same way the Pro did? We're gonna get into all that today, but first, of course, you gotta watch the run footage where I'll also put the specs. And one more thing before we get started, this shoe was sent to me by Saucony. However, they're not going to see this video before you. They can't tell me what to say, and all of my opinions are always my own. As always, let's start with the upper of the Endorphin Trainer. Here, Saucony is using an engineered mesh. It's a pretty lightweight material with lots of perforation in that forefoot for ventilation. In the midfoot, we don't really have a ton in terms of overlays. It's pretty bare bones. And then the back, the heel counter is fairly sturdy. The laces are average, they're flat, they stayed tied. The tongue is thin but decently padded, and it is gusseted for a little bit more of that wraparound feel across the midfoot. And as you know, something I always like is a decent amount of ankle collar cushioning, and we have that here. So I'm happy. The first thing that I noticed is that I like this upper much better than I did the Kinvara Pro's upper. For some reason, this just feels a lot more light to me, airy. I'm definitely feeling that breathability where I don't know if it's so welcomed in the winter months. I think when I was testing out the Kinvara Pro, it was summer, so I feel like my foot was extra hot, and now my foot's extra cold because this has more breathability. But we'll take it, and in the summer months, I think it's going to be very beneficial. Now, as far as fit goes, I am able to cinch down these laces and get a decent fit around that midfoot. However, when I'm running, I do feel like this shoe's loosening up a little bit, and it's getting a little loose in there in return. Like I'm starting to feel like my foot's sliding around a little bit. I wouldn't size down a size. It's not really a matter of that. I think it's just a matter of there being a lot of material here and my foot is on the more narrow side of things. I have not tried the last loophole yet, but I'm sure that that would definitely fix some of the problem, if not all of it. Turning the shoe over this way, I think it's pretty much average in terms of the width in the midfoot, and it does open up a little bit in that forefoot for your toes to not feel so cramped in. They kept this upper simple, and I think that's what I like so much about it. If I remember correctly, the Kinvara Pro had a lot of stitching and stuff going on, and I just really wasn't digging that at all. However, this feels a little more bare bones, but not in a negative way. I didn't have any issues with hot spots, blisters, or irritation in the upper of the Saucony Endorphin trainer. And I gotta say, I love the clean look of this white upper with this incredibly cool looking foam, which we're gonna get to right now. All right, now, so let's talk about the main event here, the midsole. We got three elements here, starting with what's right under your foot, and that is Saucony's Incredi-Run foam. This is not the first time Saucony has used their Incredi-Run foam. This is also in their Elite 2. It's pretty much, I think, their most premium foam that they have right now, and it's extremely bouncy, responsive, and it's going to give you that pep that you're looking for and that energy. Under that, to kind of counteract the instability that this Incredi-Run foam might provide, we have their standard Power Run foam. This is going to firm up that Incredi-Run and again just give you a more stabilized ride that Saucony thinks is going to be better for everyday use. But that's not all. The Kinvara Pro had a 3/4 length plate, so does the Endorphin trainer. That's embedded here again to provide some stability, but also to help that turnover get going when you want to pick up the pace in this shoe. So like I said earlier about the Kinvara Pro, I felt like that Power Run PB foam with the Power Run and the plate just felt disjointed together. Like it just didn't make sense. It didn't feel right under my foot. So I was definitely skeptical about how this was going to feel as well. And I gotta be honest, when I first ran in this shoe for the first time, I sort of felt the same way that I did in the Kinvara Pro. However, it felt slightly better. Now, don't get me wrong, the Incredi-Run foam here is truly incredible. Like it feels so good. It really feels bouncy and energetic, responsive, and you get that nice sink down feeling. Without the foam staying like that, it really does react and bounce right back up. Easy, you get that nice soft cushioning, and going fast, you get that pep and the foam sort of wakes up. So the Incredi-Run foam is not the issue. I think what I don't really like here, same issue that was in the Kinvara Pro, is this layer of Power Run foam under the Incredi-Run foam. This is really hard, really firm, and it feels kind of, I feel like a horse like trotting down the road. Like it's loud and it's a little bit clunky. So the first time I ran in this shoe, I wasn't really digging this Power Run foam. I understand why they put it here, what the method is behind the madness. I just don't love it. I wonder what this shoe would feel like if they took like Power Run Plus, like a dense version of Power Run Plus that would be a little bit firmer, and I wonder if that would make the Incredi-Run foam really shine even more. I will say though, however, after running in this shoe a couple more times, I started to get into a better rhythm with it. And I feel less put off by it. Like I'm starting to really enjoy the combination of things here. So it's really not all bad. I think maybe this shoe just needs a little bit of a break-in period, for me at least. Now the plate in here, I can't say that I necessarily feel. When I pick up the pace, I think it does help that turnover slightly, but it's not going to be a really abrasive plate that you're going to feel immediately. It's not aggressive. It's subtle. I think it's in the background doing its job behind the scenes. And I think for a trainer, that's kind of what you want. So I don't have a complaint about that. this shoe feels a lot lighter than the Kinvara Pro did. I can't confirm how much lighter it is, but I'll tell you, it feels a lot better on my foot than the Kinvara Pro did. I've really started to enjoy my miles in the Endorphin trainer, and I think it's all thanks to this incredible looking, by the way, layer of foam right under your foot. I have about 30 miles in this shoe, predominantly easy, kind of run-of-the-mill mileage. A couple pickups here and there to test out the speed of this shoe. I think that it's going to be pretty versatile. I think that's what they were trying to get at here. I think now I'm digging the midsole with a couple of things that I wish were different, but definitely liking it more than I did the Kinvara Pro. Turning this shoe over to the outsole, we have a lot of exposed power run here. Pretty much the entire shoe is exposed power run with some flex grooves in that forefoot and on the medial side of the midfoot. Then we have two orange crash pads here, one on the lateral side of the heel and one on the medial side of the forefoot. For a shoe that has absolutely no rubber, the traction's pretty good. I mean, I didn't have any issues, and I have taken this on some wetter days outside, and it didn't really slip out from under me. I wasn't feeling like the shoe wasn't doing its job. It's gripping onto the pavement just fine. Is it the best outsole I've ever tried? Probably not. But for, again, something that has no rubber basically at all, it's doing its job. This exposed power run does have a little bit of a texture to it, a design pattern, I think, to help with the grip. And after about 30 miles, it's really not showing a ton of wear, and that pattern is still there. Can definitely see it. So overall, I think that's a positive thing, and hopefully the outsole will last as long as the rest of the shoe does. Now let's talk about price. So the Saucony Endorphin trainer will be available in March for $180. I think that's maybe a little steep, but I see why they did that, because the Incrediron foam is their premium foam that Saucony has, and you're getting a nice amount of it here. So it's really up to you if you think it's worth it. I do really think this foam is amazing. If you're interested in picking up a pair of these shoes, I will put links in the description when it is available or when it's available for pre-order. So you can click that link and pick up your own pair. Just keep in mind, these will be affiliate links with Running Warehouse. However, it doesn't mean much for you. It just helps out my channel so I can keep making these videos. It's one that I can recommend. I think it's versatile, it's simple, but it also gives you that little bit of flair from the special foam. How do you guys feel about the Endorphin trainer? Are you interested in picking it up in March? Is it going to be a pass? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Well, everyone, that concludes this video on the Saucony Endorphin trainer. If you enjoyed it, please like it down below and subscribe. And when you're done with all that, hit the notifications bell so you can find out every time I upload a new video. I mean, this is an incredible looking shoe. This is an A+++++ colorway. I have another video for you next week. It'll be my best shoes of 2024, so you do not want to miss that. Happy holidays, everybody, and in the meantime, get out there, get on the grind, and don't forget to run like heller. See you next time. Hi, Pup! Up, up, up. No, not over there. Go right here. Up, 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 up. Yay! Yeah. You have to come over here. The count of 3. We're gonna say happy holidays, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Happy holidays, everybody!